All right. Well, hey everyone, and welcome. Once again, I'm Rich Lynn, and today we're interviewing Emily Chang. Welcome, Emily.
Hi, Rich. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast today. I'm super excited to chat with you.
Oh, it's really a pleasure. I'm so glad you could make it.
Yeah.
So you are the subject of one of my most recent drawings. I'm going to point. I mean, for people it's probably obvious anybody who's watching this on YouTube which one of these drawings is you, but I'm going to point to it, and I half the time get it wrong because I point with the wrong. No, I got it right.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, so there. Okay, move out of the way. Get your hand. There we go. There's Emily over there.
Yep.
So yeah, and that drawing um, came from a photo. Who took that photo?
Brett Seeley.
Brett Seeley, right? One of my
Yeah. Yeah.
favorite physique photographers. Um, yeah. So let's talk a little bit because I mean I'm kind of getting distracted because it's really such a great photo, such a great like look at your back. It's just,
Yeah. Yeah. That photo, I actually took last year. So that's not a super current physique, of mine. I actually took that the day after I won the California State Championships. And yeah, I had won, and then we jumped into a photo shoot the next day in LA, and um, Brett, greased me up, and then he said, "Stand by the window," and he's like, "Wait, let me get a box." Put you by the box, and then he's like, "Okay, now look over your shoulder," and bam, that was it.
that was the whole setup.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had been following you for a while on
Okay.
Instagram, and then your boyfriend and coach reached out to me, Pete, um,
Yeah.
um, and suggested that I do a drawing of you. It was funny because it was sort of already on my radar to do one. And then I think I went through a bunch of photos and I chose that one. There were a few others, I think probably from that same shoot
Yeah,
that
we got a
were,
lot of good ones from that shoot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you just recently finished a competition.
I did.
You took
Yeah.
second, got your pro card.
Yes, yes, I did. I competed at the USA Bodybuilding Championships in Vegas last Friday. And yeah, I came home with the second place and the pro card.
How's that feel?
Amazing. I'm still on cloud nine. I can't really believe, I shouldn't say I can't believe, but I never envisioned what it'd be like to be holding on to the pro card and the title and everything. I knew that going into this prep, I was going to bring my best no matter what. But to now be on the other side and now like officially an IFBB Pro, it's a little daunting, but it's exciting for sure.
Were you able to be super present in the moment? Like when it was announced that you came in second, that meant you got your pro card?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I had to be completely honest with you. The prejudging went well. I started out at the very end of the first call out, and then they moved me in one spot. They did quarter turns, and then they did another set of quarter turns, and then they moved me one more spot in. So I was kind of battling out the middle with another girl. But I didn't know like if I was like top three, top two, where we were at. So I had so much anxiety going into finals, not really knowing where I was. And then when they called all the girls' names and I was second, I started crying. I put my hand over my face like this. I'm like, try not to make an ugly face. And yeah, I was just overwhelmed with so much joy and yeah, just so much gratitude.
Is it becoming a reality now? Like, are you starting to get comfortable with it?
I think so, a little bit. I would say because this year, this prep, because I had done the USA's last year and I took fourth, I decided that if I was, going to turn pro and be really serious about the sport, I had to live like one. So I changed pretty much everything, like my approach to the prep this year. I took like a deep dive into, how am I recovering? How often or how many hours am I sleeping? Am I measuring everything? Am I measuring my water? Am I stretching? Am I, getting the massage therapy that I need? Am I going into my training sessions, with a good attitude, with like the most intensity that I can? So really just changing my approach to all those small details is how you become a pro. So
And that was the whole year. Like that was your approach
Yeah.
between last year and this year.
Yeah. 52 weeks of complete focus. Never missed a workout, never missed a cardio session, never missed a meal. Maybe like 4 days when I got really sick. And that actually happened like maybe 8 to 10 weeks out from this show. And that was the only
Wow.
time that I ever took off. And it paid off because like that's the kind of focus you need to compete at this elite level.
I think that's something, honestly, a lesson that you learn bodybuilding. That's a lesson that bodybuilding teaches you. Like it's not, you're talking
Yeah.
about competing at a pro level, which is the top level of it.
Hmm.
But I do find after so many years myself of bodybuilding, there is no there's no excuse you can make that your body won't reveal. Like it's
Yes. Hmm.
you could pretend to the world that you eat clean all the time, but if you're having pizza and ice cream every night, nobody's fooled, you know? And so there's no hiding.
Yeah. And just to share a little bit about my background, I used to compete in bikini. So I turned pro in OCB bikini in 2018 and then moved on to wellness, NPC wellness in 2022. And while I was doing bikini, I was still in the military. I was going to school and just going through a lot of like life stress and trying to figure out where do I stand with everything in terms of like, what's my identity? I love bodybuilding, but I'm also in the military, but I'm also trying to go to med school and all these different things. And I ended up sabotaging my bodybuilding a lot. Even though I was so dedicated to my training and the cardio, I would still eat like I would binge eat on the weekends because I was just so stressed with everything. And even though I did pretty well, it was never like my peak form. It was never my peak physique. And it kind of came out like in my presentation on stage too that I wasn't completely embodying, what this sport is and what it's like to be a top competitor. And it wasn't until I, got serious, each year that I competed and bodybuilded that, that things got better or that my physique was able to improve.
That's is that something I'm taking actually there's a couple things you mentioned that
Yeah,
I
that's
want to circle
okay.
back to, but are you also training other people at this point?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, and so and are they like competitors or are they more like civilians?
Mostly civilians, but I do a lot of posing coaching for competitors.
With your I guess civilians. It's funny when you call them when people call them that, I don't know that people outside bodybuilding would appreciate that. It's kind of ironic, right?
I think some people do actually, because a lot of the times, when we walk into the gym as a competitor, our our aura, our energy is a lot different. And, for some people, they can't handle it and they know that. So I think they prefer to be civilians sometimes.
So my question was like for your civilian clients,
Yeah,
those that are not competitors that are maybe new to it, um, how do you help them see the like that it's a 24/7 commitment. It's not just what you do
yeah.
in the gym. Like that's a difficult thing I find.
Absolutely. It comes with having good communication and trust, honestly, with my clients. I'm very vulnerable with them, maybe sometimes to a fault about how, I was not always like this. I was not always a pro competitor. I was not always, my first 3 shows in bikini, I didn't even place. And like I was not perfect. I'm still not perfect, but you keep getting better with consistency and time.
Right. Okay, so one of the
Yeah.
things that you mentioned, you said when I was in the military, and I actually knew
Yeah.
um, that you were in the Navy and you were a corpsman.
Yeah.
It's I have, I guess, two questions about that. One is more general, which is just, you know, tell me
Hmm.
about that experience. But the other one, as a tangential thing, is do you find that the discipline that you needed there applies in bodybuilding?
Okay. So for your first question, how was my overall experience? So I joined the military when I was 18 years old, right out of high school. My parents were going through this really nasty divorce, and I didn't want to depend on either my dad or my mom to put me through med school. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. I wanted to help athletes because I was a soccer and lacrosse player my pretty much my whole adolescence. And So I knew that the best way that I could fund my education and my dreams was to, join the military, see the world, get, hands-on experience. Um, but joining the military at 18 years old, not having seen the world or, never even like left my neighborhood at all, it was scary. It was hard. And I think especially for young women, because it is such a male-dominated career field, it's hard. But I wouldn't change my experience at all for anything. I've learned so much. I've met amazing people. I've gotten to see the world. I've worked on a ship. I've worked in a hospital. I worked in, a combat clinic, and the experience was amazing. And for your second question, that discipline, yes, definitely applies to bodybuilding in terms of like being able to control your emotions, being able to manage stress, and developing that resiliency because life in the military is very unpredictable. It's most times not very conducive to bodybuilding. I actually turned pro in bikini in the OCB while I was on deployment.
That's funny for a side reason, but keep
Yeah.
keep going. I'll tell you why in a sec.
But yeah, like I was jump roping on the flight deck of the ship. I was like running laps like all over the flight deck and prepping my food with like microwavable rice and canned tuna and canned chicken. Um, because I love to do I love to do hard things. I don't know. I love the challenge. And when I was growing up as an athlete, one of the greatest things that I just loved was being able to push past my mental and physical capacity because I just found that so rewarding. And I think that's why I gravitated towards bodybuilding so much.
Were you already naturally muscular?
I would say that I was athletic. I had soccer legs, so I was a midfielder, I was a goalie. So I just naturally had like those quads. It's funny, now you asked me that because, oh, sorry.
Hmm.
Um, because Brett one time asked me when we were shooting, he was like, when was the first time that you ever experienced the pump? And I was like, good question, because I hadn't thought about it. But the first time that I had experienced the pump was actually on the soccer field after doing suicide sprints in my quads. And I loved that feeling. Like it just felt so powerful. And sprinting was always like a huge strength of mine. So I had like that nice like lower body development, which was kind of counterintuitive for bikini because they wanted or for that category they want a little bit more balanced. And I just had like a lot of quad fullness
Right.
for that category. Yeah.
So you've had to work to bring up your upper body.
No, but I actually played lacrosse, so that kind of developed my upper body too. And I was a goalie, so that kind of helped as well. But it was funny when I competed in bikini, I had to work to bring my quads down a lot. So with the dieting, with a lot of cardio, and it became counterintuitive, and it was hard for me to like want to stay in bikini, which is why, I went over to wellness.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, it feels just from what you're saying, it feels like that makes sense for you,
yeah, yeah,
for who you are. I just wanted the reason that I chuckled, because you said you turned pro or you got your first. Sorry,
yeah.
so it was the OCB
Yeah, the OCB.
and you were on deployment.
Yes.
Let me point. So wait, I got to get it. So this is Julia right here.
Yeah,
Sh
beautiful.
She got her pro card. She earned her pro card while on deployment. She did all her prep on deployment. She was in the UN. She was a flight attendant for the UN, and she was in a war zone
Wow.
prepping for her first show. And she said the same thing you said, which is, I like to do hard things. Um, and that's such a cool coincidence. To do that, to find what you needed to like to get done what you needed to get done, to find the food you needed to
Yeah.
eat, to prep the food you needed to eat
Yes. Yeah.
under those conditions. That's not a normal way to prep.
Nope.
Do you think it made
No.
you better?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because when I went on deployment, I knew that like, I don't want to like speak ill about anybody, but like when people are in deployment, they don't really do a lot. We're all kind of just like sitting around waiting unless, we go into combat or we're like, we're going on a mission. There's not a lot to do. So people either, get fat, like play video games or go to bars and stuff like that. And I was like, no, that's not happening to me. Um,
You
I'm gonna
you
prep for
should
a show.
you you and Julia would have a great conversation about you almost
Yeah.
it's she said almost the same thing.
Oh, okay, okay.
That yeah, so
Yeah.
your choices are in her case it was, are you going to go to parties and get drunk,
Yeah.
or what else you're going to do.
Yeah,
That,
exactly.
that's fascinating to me,
Yeah.
and it's also very telling, because there's a certain mindset you have to have
Hmm.
that says, but I choose something else. Like I'm gonna be different.
Yeah, and for me, it was like I'm choosing life, like I didn't want to just sit around and like waste my time, like, you know, doing things that it wasn't going to be productive to me in the future. It wasn't going to make me better. So I wanted to choose like living my life to the fullest during that time.
So how many years were you on active duty?
7.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then after that, what came next?
I got out of the Navy in 2020, and that was during COVID and a really crazy time here in California, because everything had shut down. So I decided to go full force into personal training and bodybuilding. So I got my NASM certification, and I actually moved to the Midwest. I moved to Nebraska, where my stepdad was living, and started my personal training journey out there because all the gyms were still open.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the case. I'm in Toronto, and we were shut down. Uh,
Yeah.
so there were no open gyms. So then I'm looking at a list of your competitions. She said during COVID, so 2022 was the next time you competed,
Yep.
and you took the
Yep.
overall.
Yes, I did at the Ultimate Warriors.
And this was your first time in wellness?
Actually, I competed in April 2022 at the Golden State Championships in Sacramento. That's where I was living. So I lived in Nebraska from 2020 to about 2022, 2021. And then I was living with my dad in Northern California. Did my first wellness show out there. I didn't take the overall, but I won my class. And then I moved to San Diego, or back to San Diego, where Pete and I started living together, training together, and yeah, won the overall at the Ultimate Warriors in October.
Did you know going in? Like, did you get have a feeling like I can win this?
Honestly, I was really intimidated because in bikini, I had done so much work to bring my legs down, and my quads were really weak at that point. And I knew that like I had like lower body development, but I was pretty intimidated, especially with the girls that were coming out very strong within the wellness category at first. So yeah, no, it wasn't easy for me.
So, okay, so you go into this show. I'm just picturing. So you go into this
Yeah,
show. You ended up winning the overall,
yeah,
but you didn't think, like, it wasn't on your mind. You're saying that you were intimidated, but you end
yeah.
up winning the overall. What does that do to your
Yeah.
mindset?
I'm like, oh my God, maybe I do belong. Maybe this is for me.
Nice. And you're so and
Yeah.
you had been working. I'm just thinking about the journey of your quads now. So you had big quads
Yeah.
thanks to soccer.
Hmm.
For bikini, you had to work to lose quads.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Like, who wants to do that? But I get it.
Yeah.
Um, and then you had to bring them back up again. Did they
Yes.
come back quick?
Yeah, they did. I will say that Pete is an amazing coach. He knows nutrition, he knows training like the back of his hand. So I put all my trust into him and his program and just followed through with it. Plus, I like to eat. So, and I like to train. So that wasn't hard.
So, are your leg days how many days a week? are you doing legs?
Right now it's three. So I have one heavy glute and hamstring focus day, one glute isolation day that's not super heavy, but just a lot of focus on the glutes, and then one heavy quad day.
What is let's like the heavy quad day? Like, what does that look like?
Leg extensions, squats, leg press, sometimes lunges, and yeah, that's pretty much
Is
it.
that a pre-exhaust, like leg extensions before squats?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. So do you ever start with squats? I'm just asking because of I'm thinking about the weight. Like, how much are you squatting heavy? Is it
No, we squat pretty heavy, so we
yeah,
always do a pre-exhaust. That's been our trend lately on the leg extensions first, and then go into squats right after.
right. And is leg day your favorite?
Absolutely. Has to be. I mean, I get the most, I'll be honest with you, I get the most anxiety before leg day because I've had some injuries in the past. And you never want to get injured as an athlete because it sets you back for feels like forever. But now because I've been taking care of everything, managing it, and prioritizing my recovery, leg day is always my favorite.
But are you still getting a little bit of anxiety?
Of course, training with Pete. You kidding me?
Is he, I mean, I've known Pete
Yeah.
for a while, just coincidentally. And I know what he was like. I want to think when we met, it would have been early 2000s. Um, yeah, like probably 2001 around there was when I met him just online.
Yeah.
And he was legendary among us bodybuilding board people for his leg day. Um,
For good reason.
it's been 25 years. He's still legendary for his leg days. I'm taking it.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So how long have you been? So I mean I could do the math, but let's talk about it. How long have you been working with him? It's been I guess 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. We've been dating for five, or we're not even dating, we're engaged now.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that's right. Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. But yeah, we've been together for 5 years and training together since I moved to back to San Diego in 2022. So 3 years now training.
That's that's fantastic. He sent me some background on you
Yeah.
before the interview, and I could tell by reading it, um, he's definitely a huge fan of yours.
My biggest fan.
Yeah, he definitely, I mean, he put a lot of thought into the stuff that he sent me. The reason I can sound intelligent about your background is because of what, like, he told me, I've got here your list of competitions, 2022 overall, 2024 overall, California State, and then 2024 fourth place C class USA Championships. Tell me about that because you went from, that's the same year, right?
Yes, yeah.
2024 overall NPC California State, and then fourth
Yep.
place. Now, you did talk a little bit about that at the start.
Yeah.
Um, you came in fourth, and then that the year between that and this year, you said
Mhm.
I'm going to act like a pro. Um,
Yep.
tell me about that competition where you came in fourth because you had come in first at the state earlier in the year.
Yeah. Yes, I did. And the Cal was amazing. I was really intimidated to go into that show because it is the California State. And then Sandy Williamson was head judging that show. But I got such amazing feedback from her. In fact, when I was doing my individual routine on stage, I was going through it. I went from my back pose, or sorry, from my front pose into my back pose, transition back to the front, and she was mouthing to me while I was on stage, great package. And I like almost started crying like while I was doing my individual routine. And I was just I hadn't even won the show at that point, but I felt like I had won, and like it was just very validating for me. Um and when I talked to her after the show for more feedback going into USA's, she told me that I have a great look, I have a great shape, just be a little bit fuller in the legs. And I was like, okay, I can do that. But I didn't really understand what it took to be fuller, but also shredded on stage. So I thought, oh, we just have to eat more food, before going on stage into USA's. But um, I obviously wasn't as educated on what my feedback really meant. And when I went into USA's, I was very confident, just based on the feedback that I got from her. And Patrick Fulgham and some of the other judges. But it was scary. Like there were a lot of really good girls. And even though I came out, within that top five placing, it was a big wake up call for me that I wasn't doing everything that I needed to make that top placing.
Which is what you said. I mean, you talked about
Yeah,
that
yeah,
already. That
yeah,
that you set your mind to what was going to be different, and then for the whole year. Um, Honestly, I'm super inspired by that. It is interesting. My daughter she's a dancer. She's very good.
yeah,
We literally just picked her up and brought her home from a week-long dance intensive, and it's the first time that she's been in a room full of people where she wasn't the best. And it feels like that was kind of the experience you had
yeah.
at the USA's, where like, oh wow,
Yeah.
these women, this is next level.
Yes, it was completely a next level, and the pace of the show is so much different than any other regional show. Like when you go to a regional show, you're competing with or you have like novice competitors, people who have never been on stage before. So it's kind of like it's a different vibe. Like it's a little bit more like a party. Like even like when you're getting your hair and makeup done, they'll have like the music playing, and people are like, really friendly and stuff. But at the USA's, the nationals, it's is very quiet, is very serious backstage. Everybody is super focused and it's just like boom, 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 boom. Like it goes by so fast. Like just the pace of it is so much different. The environmental pressure and the stress is a whole other ball game.
That's an intense experience. I'm assuming like we
Yeah.
had talked a little bit before I started the recording, and I did compete once. Um,
Hmm.
Nothing. It was a local show, and I don't want to talk about my placing, but I understand just from that experience what happens to your mindset, um,
Hmm. Yeah.
and how intense that is back there.
Yeah.
Um, and how your whole world, especially for the few weeks before the show, your whole world becomes the show. Like it's on your mind. Is this, am I saying something true? Like it's on your mind 24/7. Like it's my show. Like
Yeah.
I
So oh,
go
sorry,
ahead,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Well,
Well,
I'll tell you a story, and then it was just I remember the show that I was in. There was a guy who competed, and he was in a cast on stage.
mhm.
Full leg cast. It was a motorcycle accident that happened, I think 5 days before the show.
Oh my gosh.
So he got hit by a car he was on his motorcycle, got hit by a car, and he says, I'm flying through the air, and all I can think of before I even hit the ground is, oh no, my show. And I think that story, like it really tells it all. Um,
Yeah.
now I guess I set you up to talk about that mindset, but like, was this year, I guess it was, but how was this year different than last year in like the weeks leading up?
Well, I will say that the show was pretty much the primary thing that was on my mind. But the main difference from last year to this year was that I put less emphasis on the result this year and only um, I should say, put the focus on everything that I could control. So I tried not to of course I wanted to turn pro. In fact, I wanted to win the USAs. I wanted to be Miss USA. And I would say that to myself over and over again. But I also knew that it wasn't in my time. It's not in my control. I can only do my best every single day. So I put less, I put myself in the mindset to achieve that goal, those goals, but knowing that I can only control what I can control, and that's not in my hands.
That's also, I hear that that's a common refrain I hear from people who I want to say finally made it. Like there's some goal that
Yeah,
they've been looking for, and they seem to get it when they stop focusing on trying to get it.
yeah, absolutely. Like I meditated every day. I want to say at least like 6 weeks out. I said affirmations to myself every day because I didn't want to keep saying, I will be an IFBB pro, I will be Miss USA. because I knew that wasn't in control. But I could say that I am successful. I am confident. I am strong. I am powerful. Good things are coming to me, and focus on those things instead of just the result.
Did you feel it on stage when you were doing your posing routine, for example?
That's funny you asked that because I was so tired on show day, and usually I'm not. Usually the adrenaline was keeping me going, but I was so focused on what I was doing that I didn't know. But I knew that I had practiced my routine, I had practiced my posing, I practiced my presentation so much, and I prepared my body physically, emotionally, spiritually so much that I was ready for this moment. Whether I was going to turn pro, I didn't know, but I knew that I was fucking ready, like, for this moment.
So, so then was the routine itself a blur for you? Like, were you on autopilot?
A little bit, but one thing about me is that I'll go out there and I'll kind of be on autopilot, but as soon as I make eye contact with the judges, I'm on. Like, I turn that spark on, I turn the smile on, and I just embody everything that I have done for this prep, not just the posing practice, but I feel the leg presses, I feel the leg extensions, I feel the hip thrust, I feel all the cardio sessions that I did into that performance, and I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, it's like
That's
that.
that's awesome. The theme I'm getting just from a couple of things that you've said is the ability to be present um,
Yeah,
makes a huge difference.
yeah, it does because y- like show day is such a like a peak moment in anybody's life that in my life that I never want to miss it. So I want to embrace everything that I've done all the way up to this point to shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not sure that everybody, I want to even say most people are able to do that. Like there are moments where you must be present. I would say that you want to be present always. That's not always easy.
Right.
But there are moments where your presence is really required, like where you really need to be there. You really need to
Yeah.
be in the moment. Um, is that something you've always been able to do? Is that something you've had to hone?
No, actually, it's funny you asked that. I have my master's. So I have my bachelor's in biology because I wanted to be a doctor. But I got my master's actually in 2022 when I started doing wellness or competing in wellness and performance psychology because I realized how important, the mind is and how influential it is on everything that we do. And through my degree, I was able to take all the theories and skills and the projects and be able to, master, honestly, my mind to be present.
Is that, and that's, I'm imagining that's something that you bring to your clients as well, like helping
Oh,
them.
100%. Yeah. And even like when I did the Cal, it's funny, while I was on prep for the Cal, I did my master's thesis on my bodybuilding prep and how I use the different performance psychology strategies to get me to the finish line.
That performance psychology, um,
Hmm.
do you branch that out into other aspects of your life, like not just your bodybuilding, but just really anything?
Coaching clients for sure. Even like, when you go through hard times, being able to channel, your emotions or energy into, positivity and being able to shift your focus and prioritize what really matters, what doesn't. And um, yeah, I use it in everything.
When you're working with clients, let's talk about that a little bit. Um, are most of your clients what we're calling civilians?
Yes.
What do you think, if you had to, what's the biggest challenge for you when you're working with civilians?
Man, I think the biggest challenge, it's funny that you asked that because like I feel like I'm kind of going through that right now, that I'm going through some challenges with my clients and just convincing them, or I shouldn't say convince, but and like showing them that they can do it too. Um, I think the thing about me is that I'm very honest and there's no, how should I say this? There's no way that one can be successful without working hard. And I I don't have a shortcut for people, and I'm very honest, I'm very blunt about that. But I have a hard time with, I guess, conveying that message or having people believe that they can do that too, or that they can get through hard things, or even just like uh, liking hard things because the workouts are never easy. Dieting is never easy.
It's funny. I don't know if I've been influenced by stuff I'm reading on social media, if this is like a new wave thing, but the do hard things, which is something you said earlier,
Hmm.
just those three words, do hard things, has recently become a motto for me. Um, but it's something that I've always done. I just realized looking back that I always choose hard things.
Yeah,
Um, and I wonder with your clients, is that a message they can hear? Like, or is it hard for them to hear that? And when I
I
say
think
hear it, I don't mean like they don't like you that you say it. I like did they are they able to internalize it?
I don't think so. Sometimes I don't think they are, or they don't want to. Um, yeah, I don't have the answer to that question. Mm.
It's interesting though, right? Like
Yeah, it is.
you you know it. Um you've done it. Are they looking at you and they're going, "Well, Emily, you look fantastic. I want to look like you." And you say, "Well, okay, here's the steps. By the way, it can take 10 years." Is that do they believe you? Like, I'm just trying to get my head, or I'm trying to understand where their heads are, and then
Yeah,
how you're helping coaching them in that. Because I know, for
yeah.
me personally, my journey took more than 10 years. Like
Hmm.
it was a long, long time before people would look at
Yeah.
me and say, "Do you go to the gym?" So, um, I guess I'm asking you, how do you deal with that? Are they like, what are your success stories with them?
Yeah. Honestly, I just keep showing up for my clients. I'm very blessed, very thankful to do what I, do as a profession. I would obviously be rather, or I'd obviously rather be doing this than being in the military. So I wake up every morning blessed to, teach my clients, to be a leader for them. They may not always grasp everything that I'm saying or my coaching, but if I can be that little spark of like motivation for them or to help them feel good about themselves, that's a win for me. And I'm only here to help, to guide, obviously live my life to the best, but I find pleasure and fulfillment in enriching other people's lives in whatever way that I can.
That's one of the things Pete said about you was that you wanted to go into medicine because you wanted to help people, but you found that you could do
Yeah.
that. You found that you could do that through health and fitness. Sounds like you're
Hmm.
getting very rewarded that way,
Yeah.
which is great. He also said, this is a quote, "She is a nerd, lol." Now, what does he mean? What is he talking about when he says she's a nerd?
I'm a student by heart. Like if you put me in a course for anything, I'll probably, come out as one of the top students. I love to learn. And yeah, that's just pretty much it. I'm not like a huge like anime or cartoon like Star Wars kind of nerd. I love to study. I love to become like a master of a craft. Um, and yeah,
So
that's me being a nerd.
book nerd, academic nerd
Yeah, yeah.
kind of thing. Is that something you think you got from your parents? Is that something you had naturally?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely from my parents. I don't think I enjoyed learning very much when I was a kid. Um, but like the study habits were pretty much instilled with me like as a child to get good grades.
He says the first thing he said was first generation American born Chinese. So that
Hmm.
says your parents were from China. Is it the Chinese cultural thing?
Yeah, pretty much. There's a lot of heavy influence on education for the Asian um, background, but my mom is actually from Burma. My parents are both Chinese. My mom's from Burma, and my dad is actually from Cuba,
Oh,
which
okay.
is
So neither from China.
yeah, and
Okay.
neither are from China, but they're Chinese. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool because when I found out that my dad's family was born in Cuba he was actually born during the missile crisis and that whole thing. And my aunts and uncles all have Spanish names. They all speak Chinese, Spanish, English. And I was also always like just really attracted to the Latin American culture for some reason. I think just the way that the women were, always very bright and beautiful and bold. And I would say Asian women are a little bit more subdued, or you don't see them in the gym all the time. They're kind of like a little bit more petite and that kind of thing. So I was always just kind of attracted to that other side of my culture, and which was great for translating it into my performance as a wellness competitor, because it's very Latin. It's sexy. It's not sexual, but like it's curvy, it's fun, it's flirty, and I love that I get to, take that part of my culture and kind of, put that towards my bodybuilding.
Okay, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
All I took from his bullet, first generation Chinese, was that your parents must be from China, but they're not.
No.
And your dad being from Cuba, he
Yeah.
was born in Cuba, you said. So
Yeah.
you've got more of a Latin influence than an Asian influence. So but you also said they speak Chinese. So is that something?
Yeah.
Is it, both parents
Yeah. Both of my parents do.
and do you as well?
No, I don't. So when my dad came over to the United States, there was a lot of racism going on, and he got picked on a lot and got involved in like some gang violence and all that good stuff. And didn't want my sister and I to be picked on, because we were different from other people. So no, learning Chinese was not a priority in our family or our household, and he didn't want us to. Um, he wanted us to get socially acclimated, so that's why sports was a huge like influence in our life. We played soccer. I played Division I soccer, and then I played varsity lacrosse all 4 years of high school. My sister did track and field and soccer.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
It's it's just it's amazing how I could misunderstand one bullet.
You're
Uh,
fine.
no, no, I'm just thinking about like, the influence. And I guess I'm laughing a little bit in my head. My stepfather
Yeah.
was Jamaican,
Okay.
um,
Wow.
but a short, fat white guy. But when he opened his
Oh,
mouth, he
yeah.
he would speak with the Jamaican patois. So if you were talking to him on the phone, you would just assume you
Yeah.
were talking to a black guy from Jamaica. But then you would see
Oh,
him,
wow.
um, and I'm just thinking about those assumptions. Have you ever been to Asia?
No, never been.
Do you want to go?
Oh, yes, for sure. Actually, we were kind of speculating on competing at the Vietnam Pro in November. That's a pro wellness show, but I
Wow.
don't think we're gonna do it.
I was just chatting with Ruth Benson. Do you know who she is?
Yeah, Dr. Ruth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's
Yeah.
going to be in Japan next weekend to compete.
Wow. Good for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all these people going to Asia to compete. What are the chances that you go to Vietnam?
I don't think we're going to do it this year, because we want to give my body a little bit of a break, and bring a whole new package next year, when I do my pro debut.
Right. So no Vietnam this year, but maybe next
No, Vietnam. Yeah, maybe next year.
year. Right on. I was thinking. I was talking to another friend of a friend. She's Canadian-born Chinese. She doesn't speak Chinese. She went to China. She was in Beijing, and everyone just assumed that they could speak to her in
Right.
Chinese.
Yeah.
She said it was harder for her to be in China than it would be for me. I've been to China, but everybody looked at me and just knew.
You're a foreigner. Yeah.
Yes, that they just,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they would just assume that so she said that was difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about a couple other things that Pete
For
sent me.
sure.
He's honestly, he's such a fan of you. Um, she would label herself an empath, sensitive to moods and energies of those around her. Um, that's probably something we share. Do you find that difficult?
Oh my gosh. Yes. My first year of personal training, I found that so difficult because I feel bad for, my clients that I work with that can't for lack of better terms, get their shit together. And like I I almost like make their pain my pain. And I would like start taking on the habits of my clients, even though I was like working in the direction of trying to get rid of those habits. So that creating those boundaries for me was definitely a struggle.
Yeah, are you better at it now, or is it
Oh,
still?
way better.
Yeah.
I have to be. Yeah.
Do you have to sort of form a wall?
A little
Does
bit. I
does that
would
make sense?
Yes, yeah. I have to, I don't really think of it as a wall, but I have to like in a sense protect myself. But I also look at it as I'm respecting the other person's journey too. That when they are ready to make that change in their life and, stop doing or start doing, something positive for themselves, that they will do it on their time. It's not on my time.
That was that a hard lesson to learn? Not just that it's on their time, not your time, but that there are things you would ask them to do that you know you could do, or you know that you have to do,
hmm
and then they won't or they don't. Is that something that took you a while to get used to?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I, because you always want the best for people. I don't think anybody ever goes into like a coaching space or a leadership job wanting, people to fail. But the truth is that I can't, like the old saying goes, right? I can lead the horse to the water, but I can't make him drink it. And that is something that will always like stick with me because it's just the truth. You can't control ultimately the other person.
But you must get frustrated.
Oh, for sure. All the time.
Okay, they're training with you though, like in person
Yeah.
training in the gym.
Yeah.
Um, are you able to push them past where they want to go?
Sometimes. Sometimes they don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like I guess you just have to let them slack,
Yep. Slack or do something that they think that they can actually manage. That,
right?
yeah.
If you let's say you had a are most of your clients women, I'm assuming?
Yeah. All of them are women.
Right. So let's say you have a woman come to you. I'm going to create like a sample scenario. Um, in her mid to late 40s, let's just say, never been in a gym.
Okay.
Maybe she's a little overweight, or maybe she's a lot overweight, but she feels ready.
hmm
Um, what does your approach look like with someone like that? Like to sort of
I,
to onboard her and get her going. Like what kinds of things would you be doing?
well, first, I would want to assess like what her goals are and create a healthy plan for her, one that she can adhere to and that doesn't overwhelm her. The next thing that I would do is kind of like assess her limitations or her strengths and areas that she needs to work on in the gym. Because I'm a firm believer in creating a solid foundation and structure before you start really training in the gym. So like an overall like holistic balance of like strength and flexibility, mobility is like super important. So that's kind of like where I would start and just reassure her along the way that I'm here every step of the way, no matter what comes up, emotional stress, distress, you know, food, questions about food, all that stuff. I'm basically her guide and her teacher along this journey of fitness.
Do you know when newbies come to the gym and maybe they've seen a YouTube video or something, or maybe they had a couple of sessions with a trainer, but now they're on their own.
Yeah.
And you'll see them performing exercises and the form is just it's terrible. Um, and I'm thinking specifically because I see this seems to be the one I see the most commonly, which is they'll be doing lat pulls and they're managing to engage every muscle but the lats. Um, when you're working with clients and
Yeah.
they're brand new, I think form is a difficult thing for them to understand.
hmm
Um, how much are you letting them get away with? Like if they're doing lat pulls badly, but at least it's close to the right range of motion. It's close to the
Yeah,
right form. Like there's I guess what I'm trying to say is how much are you willing to just let time take care of versus, oh no, I
right.
have to address this right now.
No, that's actually something that I pride myself on. I don't let like anything really slide, and maybe that's why I have like such frustration, because I'm kind of a perfectionist, um, like for myself, but if I'm there for my clients and they're paying me for a service, I'm going to service them, the best that I can do, and I'm not just going to let them, throw a bunch of weight around. I'm going to do my best to cue them properly, help them engage the muscle, um, and tell them where to feel it. If they don't, let me know, and then we'll work it out.
Do you find
Yeah.
sometimes they don't know what they should be feeling? Like they can't even tell if they're feeling it.
Sometimes they can't, and as long as I recognize as their trainer that everything is engaging properly, then I let them train.
Right. So you're
Yeah.
not letting them get away with lat pulls that aren't lat pulls.
No, no.
Because I've seen trainers do that. They're standing there and I'm
I
watching the
see it
client.
all the time too. I don't like that.
Yeah, it is a bit
Yeah.
bothersome. Um,
Yeah.
so no, you're not one of those.
No, no. I'm pretty on my clients.
Excellent. What would you say, like this empathic thing? Um, is this something that you've always known about yourself? Like I'm thinking even back in grade school,
Yeah.
were you the kid that would cry for other kids?
I wouldn't say I'm the kid that would cry for other kids, but I would feel I know like I could feel like pretty much every emotion. Like I don't know, I I wouldn't say I would cry, but I could feel other people's emotions very, very strongly.
That must make
Um,
you a good communicator.
I would say so. I would agree with that.
Did you find, I'm asking this because of personal experience, actually. I
Yeah.
remember sitting in class when I was little and I could see my classmates getting into some kind of emotional situation. The teacher wouldn't recognize it. And so the interaction between teacher and student wasn't right. They were miscommunicating because the teacher
Mm,
didn't see what the student was going through.
yeah.
Um, but I was also very introverted, and so I would just kind of observe. So it
Yeah.
wasn't until I got older that it became a superpower. Is this something that you've experienced? Like, is this a similar experience to yours, or am I just
Yeah, actually it
projecting?
is very similar. So my mom, when she came over to the United States, she was like in her late 20s, and I want to say my dad came over when he was a baby. So my mom didn't really acclimate to the American culture very well. She had a hard time learning English, and my dad came over when he was a baby, so he, grew up here for the most part. And my mom had trouble like communicating like with my teachers, even with my dad. That's why they fought so many times and had a very, very hostile relationship. So I oftentimes would have to communicate for my mom, and I would see her emotions, and she wouldn't know how to like talk to other people, and other people wouldn't really know how to interpret her like mannerisms and stuff
Mm.
like that. So I kind of facilitated, my sister and I both kind of facilitated that communication, because my mom, she has her quirks and stuff like that, but you wouldn't like as a American person, you probably wouldn't be able to understand some of it because like for example, Chinese people or Asian people are kind of can be interpreted as like rude because we're very or kind of like cold in our delivery or just very straightforward.
Mm.
Um, but that's not always the case, like, being rude or angry or anything like that. It's just how they communicate
Right.
kind of thing. Yeah.
So you had to be the bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was kind of the starting of like the empathic nature and being able to communicate what she's going through and other people how they are interpreting her and that sort of thing.
That's super interesting. So you could kind of
Yeah,
see it from, if I'm understanding what you're saying, you could kind of see it from both perspectives. You could see what
yeah,
she was trying to do, but you could also see how it was landing in what they were trying to do.
yeah.
And
Because
you had to fuse it.
Yes, and it wasn't until like I got a little bit older, like probably not even until I graduated high school that I realized like what was kind of happening in our home dynamic because she it, my mom didn't like how my sister and I were super involved in sports. She wanted us to learn Chinese, to be involved in more piano and music, and even go into a career field. Even to this day, she doesn't really support my bodybuilding that much. She doesn't really understand it still. But she doesn't talk badly about it. She just doesn't really understand it.
Right.
Um, and I've had to kind of like wrap my head around like being okay with that, that I'm not always going to get that full support and understanding from her.
That must have been hard, or that
Oh yeah.
I imagine it still is.
Yeah, it is.
What about your dad?
Oh, my dad's amazing. And it's not that my mom's not amazing, but my dad
I
has
get
like
it.
supported me through everything in my life. He's my number one supporter besides Pete, and he's just so proud of me. He's proud of everything that I've done in my life, from joining the military, from like looking after my sister to, now becoming a pro. And he's just, but always just been there for my sister and I.
Does he come to your shows?
Yeah, he does. He wasn't at this one, but he did go to the Cal and USA's last year.
Probably my best memory of my one show is doing my posing routine and seeing my mother in the
Yeah.
audience.
Oh, that's
That was
amazing.
super special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do,
Yeah.
are you able to find him when he's there? Like when you're on stage, you can find.
I hear him. I hear him. It was so cool when I had won the Cal. They had never been to a show that I won. So it was such an amazing experience for all of them to be there and watch me win the show. Like obviously they don't know any other competitors or who the judging panel or how big of the show it is, but it was just so cool that they could see the experience of me doing the pre-judging and then doing the finals and then doing the overall battle and everything.
Is your sister, you've talked about her a few times and she's also
Yeah.
athletic. Is she into bodybuilding as well?
No, but she's a physical therapist. So we all kind of stayed in that, where both of us stayed in that athletic sports realm.
Are you ever a client?
Sometimes, yeah, she's amazing. She's so good. She works on my back, my leg.
I my physiotherapist is my hero. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's that's super important. So what's the age difference? Is she older, younger?
she's younger. We're 2.5 years apart.
And you were both athletic in school,
Yeah,
with your dad's encouragement.
yes.
What sports did she play?
She played soccer. She played what's it called? The sweeper, the last person before the goalie. That's like a defense position. And then she did track and field. She did the long jump, and I want to say she did some kind of throw too. Yeah.
Right. And she's also a fan, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
of what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. She's a huge fan. My sister is actually a lot taller than I am. I'm 5'4.5". My sister's 5'9",
That
and
is
she's
tall.
like this super tall, skinny thing, like could have been a model and still probably could be a model and everything. And she's a little bit more of a nerd than I am in terms of like she likes um car cartoons and like video games and stuff like that. But yeah, she's an awesome person.
You clearly you have a good relationship with her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that matters. You said something earlier, again, before I started the recording, about Pete. You said, and I quote, Pete saved me.
Mm.
What did you mean by that?
Well, before I had gotten out of the military, I was in a very dark place, just trying to figure out, where I was going in life. Um, I went through some really like kind of dark, depressing times while I was in the military because I just wanted to bodybuild so bad, but I didn't really have a career in bodybuilding, nor was I finished with my career in the Navy, and I didn't know what to do. And when I was in those dark times, Pete was there for me. He saw just how much I loved bodybuilding, not just the competing aspect, but how I like being an athlete was a core personality trait of mine. And he helped me just realize that. And that is something that's worth saving, that's worth, you know, holding on to. And um, yeah, he helped me realize who I am and who I could be. And for that, I'm forever indebted to him.
He said she doesn't fully recognize the greatness within herself. When somebody says something like that, it's not something he hasn't said to you. Like there's no way he says that to me if he hasn't said that to you.
You said it to
Um,
me.
yeah, that just sounds like a great person to have on your team.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I'm just swinging around now. This podcast, by the way, it's going to go on YouTube. It'll be a video, but it'll also be audio only. And so because it's audio only, sometimes I have to explain what I'm doing. Um, so for those of you who are listening and not looking, we're on Zoom and in the backdrop behind me, I've got the drawing that I did of Emily, and I'm swinging over so it's more visible. And one of the things that happens when I'm doing a drawing that I'm not sure people fully realize is I have to study your body centimeter by centimeter. Like I have to look at everything, and I spend a lot of time. It's the only way to get a drawing right. And when I was doing this one of the things that I noticed, your calves, it's hard to tell from the position, but you have very strong calves.
Oh, thank you.
Is that something you've worked on? Is that something you had genetically? And the reason I ask is because calves are one of those things where people say you either have it or you don't.
Yeah. Right, right, right.
So
I,
what's the story with calves? Is that something you're working on?
I think I've had a good foundation for my calves because of the sprints in soccer, lacrosse, all the running that I did. But it is something that I've had to bring up, especially with being in wellness, because you're judged on everything lower body. It's not a primary focus, but it adds so much shape to the body. So now I train calves at least 2 times a week.
And you've noticed a difference?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm asking just really out of like sheer curiosity, because like there are just some people who seem to not be able to do anything with their calves. Like
Yeah.
they just have small calves and that's just how it is. But you've been able to bring them up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they're like significantly bigger, but the shape is a lot better. It's more balanced because my left side was way more prominent than my right, I would say last year. And then because I've worked on it this year significantly, my right side has been able to come up
Oh, but
more.
this drawing was actually from the photo taken last year.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The other thing that really sticks out in the drawing, of course, is the lat because that's actually the focus of the drawing. Um,
hmm
and we've talked about your leg days. Um, and we talked about how you had an upper body from lacrosse. But lats aren't something that you get easily. When I say easily, I
No.
mean one doesn't just get lats. Like
Right, right.
you have to focus on that. Um,
Yeah.
were you pleased with the way they came in when you started focusing
Oh
on
my
that?
gosh. Yeah. And they got even better this year. I can't wait to do an updated like photo shoot for you and send you another killer photo. Because my back has just come up so much. I mean, not just the like the thickness, but just the width has come up so much because Pete's just he knows what he's doing with my body.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, you want to credit the coach, but you also want to credit the athlete. Um, how much of it do you think is genetics versus work ethic? I think I know the answer, but
Man.
what would you say?
I don't I don't think it's very genetic at all. I mean, I think I've always had like my shape because like I said, I competed in bikini, so I've always had like kind of like an hourglass shape, but my hips are small or they're not super wide. So I would say it's like, I don't know, 20% genetic and 80% work ethic and focused work in the gym.
Yeah, it's funny how many people don't want to hear that or don't want to believe it. Um, it's oh, the other thing, sorry, just looking when I was doing the drawing, the delt. So you've got this great delt tie-in at the top of your bicep,
Thank you.
and I can see it now as well, just you sitting there in the tank top.
Yeah.
Um, your how were your delts when you first started versus now? Like have they come up as well?
Oh my gosh, significantly, significantly. Yeah,
So
other
pretty much,
than
go
oh
ahead.
sorry. Oh, other than training legs, I love training delts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you doing a lot of pressing, or is it mostly laterals, or what, mixing up?
both,
Like, yeah.
both, yeah.
Do you press heavy?
Actually, you know what? No, my max, I would say for a shoulder press would probably be like 40 pounds on each side. So I don't do that heavy, but
What's the rep range?
uh 10 to 12.
Yeah. Is it always 10 to 12 for like,
Not always.
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's 15 for like my working sets and then warm-up sets, sometimes 20, 25, just get a lot of blood flow.
So for size, like, would you say for size 10 to 12 is around where you want to be?
For me, yeah, I would say.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
not like I'm asking also again because I've learned that this question is not coming from nowhere. I've learned that for me, it depends on the body part.
Yeah.
Um, like for my shoulders, it's got to be 6 to 8. Um,
Mm,
but for my arms, it's got to be 15. I like for
interesting.
biceps, it just totally depends. Do you find that with yours?
Not really. I don't really focus so much on like the rep range. I mean, I have that range in mind of where I want to go, but I focus a lot more on the engagement of the muscle, the squeeze, the eccentric part, just like really being in every single rep and going to failure.
Yeah. Well, do you always go to failure?
Most times, especially for legs, yeah.
Um, yeah, let's just talk sets and reps for a bit because that's
Yeah.
I really find that fascinating. I'll give you a bit of you tell me what your reactions are. Give me your reactions on this. When I first started out,
Okay.
I didn't know much, as most of us don't. And I was just following whatever routines I could follow. Uh, People would say, "Oh, for size, it's got to be 4 to 6. Don't anything more than 6 reps." Now you're not training for size anymore. Um, what I learned was that I have to pick a weight. I have to, for each body part, it's different, but I have to pick a weight where I will fail in the rep range that I'm aiming for.
Hmm.
So if, for example, for shoulders, I need to pick a weight of dumbbells where I won't be able to get more than 6, but I'll get at least 4. So it's got to be 4 to 6. Um, but as I've gotten older and as I've gotten more injured, I can't go to failure. It's
Mm.
just too dangerous. Like it's when I get
Yeah,
close
yeah,
to
yeah.
failure, it's just too dangerous. So now it's like I have to stop 1 or 2 reps short of failure,
Hmm.
and and I've learned that I've learned to know what that is. Oh,
Yes,
two more
yeah.
reps, 2 more reps I would fail, so this is the right place to stop. Um, what are your thoughts on going to failure versus stopping 1 or 2 reps shy? Because you also mentioned some injuries.
Yeah. I think stopping 1 to 2 reps shy is sometimes the smartest thing that you can do. Because if your form breaks and you get injured, that's it. So I'd rather, let those 2 reps go and then push really hard again into the next set, um, instead of getting injured and trying to push to failure.
How long is a workout for you? Just the weight portion.
Leg days, probably like an hour and a half at most. And then upper body days, maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
How many sets in 45 minutes?
Um, let's see, we'll do like maybe like 4 or 5 different exercises. And then some of them will do 3 sets, some of them will do 4 sets. Yeah.
So let's see. So that could be up to 20 sets for upper body.
Hmm.
Um,
Could be sometimes.
in
I
40.
actually train back and shoulders with Pete now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's how long are you resting between sets? It doesn't feel like very long if you're getting that much done.
No, not really. I don't like to rest that long, to be honest with you. Leg days is a little bit different depending on what we're doing. Like if I'm squatting, like I'll take maybe a minute or two to recover. But yeah, like on upper body days, I don't really need to rest that much.
No, so it's just like
Nah,
stop. So if you're training with Pete, you're just waiting for him to finish the set and then you go.
pretty
Is that
much. Yeah,
right? Right. Does he need
yeah.
more rest than you?
Sometimes I'll admit that for him, sometimes he does. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I just I my cardio is really good. I've always loved cardio, because I ran, like that's my bread and butter. So like it's funny. I don't know if Pete ever told you this, but for last year's prep and this year, because I was on the stair mill for so long just to burn the calories, because we go by calories, we put a 25-pound weight vest on me. So I would increase, obviously my workload like during that session so I could burn the appropriate amount of calories and not be up there for like 2 hours.
Nice. What's your favorite cardio?
Right now I alternate between spin bike and stair mill. I love both of them. The spin bike is really cool because I like getting a pump in my quads and I can decrease the resistance as I need. And then so I can sprint, I can, cool down. I usually do like a sprint interval of like a minute and a half, and then I'll recover for 30 seconds, and then I'll do another sprint for about 35 minutes. And then in the afternoon, I'll do stair mill. I like doing stairs because it's pretty mindless, in my opinion. And it's like honestly, like a little meditation of mine, just like walking up, the stairs.
The stair mill is the one device in the gym that I think was invented by the devil. I think I tried it once. I was like, no, absolutely not. My cardio is elliptical mostly.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good too.
Yeah, it's that stair mill. Good for you. Good for you.
Good for you.
When you're in the
I like
gym,
that.
um, and you're focused and you're intense, do people ever approach you just to talk, just to whatever? Like,
People used to, but now they don't.
is it
Yeah.
resting bitch face or is it just they know?
I think they know, and I also don't really make eye contact with people too. Like I'll kind of just put my head down and like check up the
Right,
stairs. Yeah.
right. So this is not the time to talk to Emily. Like,
No, no. And then like when I'm doing like, you know, almost 600 pounds on the hip thrust, people usually kind of walk out of the leg.
yeah, I stopped training at a commercial gym a long time ago. I have a home gym,
Yeah.
and it's been 20 years since I've trained in a commercial gym, and I remember those. The type of person that would be in the gym that would want to chat, like, but I'm not here to chat. I don't mind being friendly, but
Yeah.
like I've got to get this done.
Yeah.
Do you have issues with guys approaching you just
Uh,
'cause they're
I would say
guys?
before like when I wasn't as serious, I think they would. But keep in mind, like I'm at the Human Elite gym, so Pete owns half the gym here. So,
Mm,
people kind of like know me as part of the community. I'm a trainer there. But one thing I did make a note of doing this year and previous years is that I have my training professional or like I have my personal trainer clothes, which is like something that I would wear like this, that's still flattering but kind of fun. And then I have my training clothes, which is like usually a baggy t-shirt. I got my hair up, I take my makeup off, everything. So it's like it's time to work. So I have like almost like two identities in the gym. I have like working Emily and it's time to work Emily.
right. I
Yeah.
guess I guess you need to.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I guess we'll just finish up with just a couple things you mentioned. So you have you done? I think you said you were going to do a photo shoot, but you haven't done one yet since the show.
No, no, I haven't done one yet, but there will be one coming up soon, probably before my pro debut.
Do you know, like, have you booked it?
No, not yet. Where I'm still kind of scoping out some photographers and styles that I want to do.
Right. Who have you shot? Like besides Brett, who have you shot with?
So I shot with Brett many times. I've shot with NNC Visuals, Nolan. I've shot with a lot of Brett's colleagues in his like little photographer or photography group. Um, Gosh, I can't think of a lot of people right now. There's a local girl, Giselle. I shot with her, and yeah,
When did you
I
start fitness modeling?
I started fitness modeling. Actually, pretty much when I started my journey, I I did my bikini show in OCB, and then when I came back from deployment to San Diego, that's the first time I shot with Brett. Actually, no, I shot with him in Vegas at USA's one year. And then after I did an August show after that USA's, I shot with him again in San Diego. That was the one on the wooden block. I don't
The
know.
one of the drawing.
Yeah.
Right,
Or
right.
no, not this one. But
Oh, I'm gonna look at your Instagram or
it
while you're talking.
was one of the ones I think I had sent you. I can pull it up too.
Oh, well, our audio listeners won't be able to see it, but we could talk about it. I'm always curious when for fitness modeling,
Yeah.
your first shoot, how was that awkward or did it feel natural?
It was so awkward, but I will I will tell this story to my dying day, but the first time I had ever shot was with Brett Seeley in Vegas that year at USA's, funny enough, in 2019. And he had my hair flipped over. I was sweating and like so I feel like Quasimodo almost like in this position because like my head's kind of like this. I'm
Yeah.
like looking back, I'm like hunched over. And then he comes out and shows me this amazing photo that made me see myself as a woman literally for the first time. Like I
Wow.
was, yeah, I was in 2019. So I joined the Navy in 2012, 18. So I was like 25. And I'd always like kind of associated my identity with being a tomboy. And this is the photo. Oh,
Oh yeah, the blur. Oh yeah, yeah. That's the one. Is
yeah.
that the one you're talking about?
Yes, this was my very first photo with Brett, and I'm like, how the hell did he take that from what I was feeling? And
And
I
that
never,
So I'll describe it just for the people who won't be seeing it video. It's
yeah.
just, so your it's mostly your back is facing the camera. Your
Hmm.
arms a bit back, your head is turning sideways, your hair is covering half your face. And what are you wearing? It looks like a bathing suit or
It's like a one piece lingerie set.
right, right.
Yeah.
So you felt super awkward in the pose,
Oh, absolutely.
but the photo comes out like that.
Yes. And I call this my iconic photo, because it's, it was the catalyst for my, the feminine aspect of my journey.
So that was like a wake up moment.
Oh, huge wake up moment. I will always love Brett for that picture, that moment. It was very special for me.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Once you saw that, did it become
yeah.
less awkward?
Yes, it became less awkward, and I just wanted to become better at modeling and creating my physique art.
One of the things that I've always wanted to do, I say always, since I started drawing, um,
Yeah,
because as I said earlier, you're the first artist, then there's the photographer, and then there's
yeah,
me, right? I'm third in line. Um,
yeah,
I've often wanted to be involved in the shoot and be there and sort of seeing how that's going. And there are certain poses where I go, I would have turned it a little bit, or I would have, for the sake of the drawing, I would have dropped the arm, or something like that,
yeah.
right? I always think that'd be fascinating. Um, how long does a typical shoot take?
Well, when I shoot with Brett, it could take up from an hour to like 5 hours.
Yeah,
Sometimes we just get going, like we have an idea of what we want to do, and then we get inspired just like wherever we're at, this window, this light, the outfit, the pose, and he just says, keep going, keep moving. And I'm like, okay, do I do this? He's like, just do it, like it just keep moving and it will go on forever sometimes. Like that the drawing that you did was very similar to that situation.
right, right. How many outfits are you going to bring to a shoot?
Gosh, I bring over 20, 30 outfits. I have a huge suitcase, tons of stuff.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
it'll be good to see the results of this next shoot. Pete sent me some photos
Yeah.
that you'd taken, I think like a day or two before the show, just to show me what your shape was looking like. Your
Yeah.
hamstrings, in the photo that he sent me, it was a hamstring glute photo. Like it was
Hmm.
to show that. You must have brought those up this year, I'm guessing.
Significantly. Yeah.
Yeah, you brought everything up, is the moral of the story.
Yes, everything.
In that shot that he sent me, even though the shot was meant to show the back of your legs and your glutes,
Yeah.
what I saw was your back, the crevice of your spine. It was like two pipes running up from the base of your spine all the way up into your
Yeah.
traps. Um, that's definitely a strong point for you
Thank you. Thank you.
because you know your strengths. Are there certain poses you're using when you're on stage to sort of go, this is my moment?
Definitely. I one of my mottos going into my shows now is I don't want to have any bad sides, like no bad sides, no bad angles. So that way I can move freely, but also make whatever pose or transition that I'm doing look fluid, smooth, but like, ooh, I want to see that again, kind of thing.
All right. Well, I guess the only other thing I was thinking about as we've been talking, because I know you're engaged, have you guys got a date set or no?
No, not yet. We're just enjoying being engaged right now.
Yeah. Do you have an ideal location for the wedding? Do you want to travel? Do you want to do it locally?
No clue yet.
No.
Maybe at the gym. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
that would be all right in the squat rack.
Right.
Um, I used to years ago when I was training, I would walk into the squat rack and I had this mantra where I would say the squat rack is a shrine, and I would say that over and over to myself. The squat
Mm.
rack is a shrine. So you get married in the squat rack, it's a shrine.
Hey, it might happen. It might
That'd be
happen.
that'd be awesome. Okay, look, is there anything, that you feel like you want people to hear before we sign off?
Gosh. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please take a look at Rich's art. It's freaking amazing. Um, yeah, watch out 2026. Pro debut.
Thanks, thanks. And then the Olympia.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, one day. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay.
But thanks so much for being here. Uh, and yeah, this is us signing off.
Thanks, guys.